And previously, you were mentioning a point about the pendulum, right? So, is that like for human beings who are dwelling in the negative beliefs, should they have to change the pendulums continuously so as to escape those, negative mindset or whatever beliefs they had from the childhood?
Um, not necessarily. I mean,
Okay.
I believe in doing that shadow work to really clear out generational trauma in all timelines for all people.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I understand of reality transurfing,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the application of reality transurfing um, uh, has a sort of bypass. And I've
Okay.
heard people talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, I have experienced it to a certain degree,
Mm-hmm.
particularly in my personal relationships, I think, only because, you know, we learn so much through contrasting experiences. Um, and I know Law of Attraction talks about that. The Abraham Hicks material will talk about our contrasting experiences, which gives us information to go in the opposite direction. So I think that's helpful. But I think in terms of childhood traumas and the application of transurfing, I think it is possible
Mm-hmm.
to bypass all that childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
However, we have to be able to think properly, in that if we want to bypass
Mm-hmm.
um, certain, say, attributes from our childhood, like thinking we're not good enough,
Mm-hmm.
okay, or the belief that we're unlovable, we
Mm-hmm.
have to be really aware of that reality
Mm-hmm.
and intend that we are lovable,
Mm-hmm.
intend to say that I am lovable,
Mm-hmm.
and have that up level our self-talk. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's one way to bypass a lot of, like, going to therapy. It's great for some people. I did it for a bit. Is it the end all be all? I don't think so. And I think you have to be very careful what kind of therapist you have, because there are plenty of therapists that will have you looping and talking about the same negative story of your life over and over and over again. And in the work that I do, my clients get to tell me their story once or twice, and then that's it. We write a different story, because otherwise it's not effective. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
you're just re-traumatizing yourself. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that you can get off that pendulum of childhood traumas, but you have to be aware of what it is that you want.
Okay.
And quite often, that clarity of what it is that we want is
Mm-hmm.
based on what it is that we don't want.
Hmm.
And so these are good tools, I think. I think they're very good tools. So, and of course, one size does not fit all. So, everything that I'm suggesting here is, I think, very much subject to your own interpretation and your own. You can redesign it any way you want so that you can take advantage of it in the way that is appropriate for you, that works for
Mm-hmm.
you. Because what works for me might not work for you. It might work for some people, and it might not work for a lot of people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to fine tune. Um, but I think also in the matrix, there is that huge pendulum of
Mm-hmm.
what I call victim consciousness. I'm a victim. And that pendulum includes, I'm a victim and it's your fault and you need to pay me. You need to make my life better. And there are a lot of people on that pendulum, and those people are never going to wake up because they're too attached to blaming other people. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when we're creating reality, we're taking responsibility for our reality.
Mm-hmm.
We're not blaming other people. As
Yeah.
reality creators, we're not blaming other people. We're endeavoring to create a reality. So those of us who are practicing and at the beginnings of understanding how reality creation works and how the first Hermetic principle of mentalism works,
Mm,
that's going to take time. It takes practice, and you're gonna make mistakes again and again and again. But this is part of it. It's like martial arts. I
mm,
call reality transurfing creation martial arts, because it is trial and error, and the
mm,
only way you get good at it is by practicing it on a daily basis. And
mm,
being able to really master your attention centers and residing from your center screen more and more and more and more. And for myself, I'm pretty good at staying in my center screen. And there are certain topics where I lose my shit. I oops, I fell asleep again. And I have to really have that self-awareness to understand, oh shit, I just fell asleep and I just woke
mm,
myself up again. And it's kind of funny, but
mm,
this is the nature of reality of what we do. I call it waltzing in and out of the matrix.
mm,
When you can waltz in and out of the matrix and utilize the matrix systems to your advantage without getting detected and without the matrix hooking you into one of their dramas,
mm,
so that you lose consciousness and you lose yourself in the outer screen or in here or both. And I call that mastering reality, because you're waltzing in and out of the matrix undetected.
mm.
And that's what makes life fun, I think,
Yeah.
And I wanted to come back to, the whole thing about material wealth. For a
Mm,
lot of people, that is the telltale of success.
mhm,
It's not for me. Okay. I mean, I really have everything I want, how much stuff do you need? But for me and for a lot of other people, a successful life is really based on the success of relationships
mhm.
and the success of peace of mind,
Okay.
of feeling like you're in that creative flow.
Mm,
So it really points to what are your values, because when I was younger, I made a ton of money when I was younger, and honestly, I wasn't all that happy. I
mhm,
was stressed out, because you think money is going to save the day. It allows you to do certain things, but some of the unhappiest people I know have hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, or
mm,
or whatever, euros, or
mm,
quid, and they're not happy people. They're
mhm,
miserable because they're so empty inside. They can't buy enough things to fill them up. They
mm,
can't take enough trips to escape their emptiness inside. And
mm.
that's why, that's part of the reason why we have to do the shadow work. We have to find what it is that makes us light up, that
Mm,
fulfills our souls, that fulfills our mission, in life. Such as what you're doing with your podcasts. It's wonderful, because what you're doing is you're being a bridger of
mm,
realities here,
mm.
and you're bringing information that inspires you and sharing it. That's totally cool, you know
Yeah. Well, in reality transurfing, the concept of importance plays a significant role.
oh
Can you please
yes.
explain how importance influences the formation of variations and impacts the realization of intentions?
Yeah. So importance is and I'm gonna endeavor to illustrate in a way that is kind of off color. but importance, and I've seen people, okay, the more you think I'm the shit, the more the opposite will happen. The more you will offend people, turn off people, people will not be attracted to you, they will be repulsed by you. And so I'm going to set an example in the world, and everybody knows Donald Trump, okay? So Donald Trump, for me, is one of those self-important people, and I like him. I like him. I think he is a really fantastic archetype of the trickster, because everything that he does, people get completely crazy and upset. And this is his importance. He's got so much importance that he's going to save the world or whatever. And even before he was seen as the savior, he was this mega celebrity, and you either loved him or you hated him. So he had the importance of being just this egomaniacal sociopath, or this importance of being this really, really amazing financier. And each one of those repelled a certain population of people. And they also attracted a certain population of people. And that's how importance can work. It can either work for you or work against you. Mostly it works against you, because the thing with importance, whether you think you're important or whether you believe what it is that you want to materialize, you want it. What you create is that you create this energetic imbalance, where as soon as that imbalance hits critical mass, you attract what's called balancing forces in reality transurfing that comes in and wrecks the entire thing. Okay. So balancing forces is actually another kind of pendulum energy that'll come in and just wreck your shit, simply because there was too much riding on it. Okay. Just like in my ski accident. That's a great one to bring up, by the way. In my ski accident, I wanted my intention to have like this hot weekend with my partner and learn how to ski and do this. I wanted it so badly. What did I do? I created excess potential energies. And guess what? Balancing forces came in and wrecked my shit in the materialized as my bully ski instructor, who didn't hear a word I was saying to him. So that's another way that, energy works. You want it way too much. And rather than letting it go and letting the universe bring it to you, you try to control the universe. And it just creates all this energy, and you have a wrecking ball just and come in and just clear the decks. And that's what happens to most people, which is why they say law of attraction, reality transurfing doesn't work. Because I intended this, I wanted it, I stayed in my feelings of wanting it. No, you stay in your feelings of having it already, not wanting it, but having it already, and living your life as if you already have it. This is practicing what's called the law of assumption, that you are already ideal now. And I like saying I am ideal now, because that includes all the big things and all the little things. And I don't have to sit there and scrutinize it, because I know that if I do, I'm creating excess potential energies and inviting balancing forces to come mess up my life. And it happens again and again and again and again. So thank you for bringing that up, because that's kind of a fun, and when you see it in action, I call it the wrecking ball of reality, because balancing forces, Yeah, it's not. And you're doing it to yourself. Nobody's doing it to you. You're doing it, you know. And so here's another example of something that happened to me well, it's 8 years now, but I had my first YouTube channel was deplatformed. And I was in my work pushing up against pedophilia, pushing up against human trafficking. I was outing, I was having all these whistleblowers on my YouTube channel. And then one day, the balancing forces came and wrecked my shit. It's like all of a sudden, my YouTube channel's gone. I pushed it. All of a sudden, you know, I had a membership website, you know, with 52,000 subscribers. That was gone. Oh, they just, I was wrecked. So everything that I had created was taken away from me. And that's what happens. I spent, you know, almost 9 years on that YouTube channel, getting on this pendulum of trying to out all the pedophiles, out trafficking, get the whistleblowers on, pushing up against all the stuff I don't like. And in law of attraction, also in reality transurfing, you cannot push up against the stuff that you don't like, because they have every right to exist just like you. You have to take your attention away from pushing up against this and just focus in on what you want to create. I know better, but I was in that righteousness where I was going to out evil. And guess what? My train got wrecked. And I had to start all over again. And it is very, very humbling to see the impact of that, which is really, 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 really funny. But it's not so funny because it really, you know, you talk about the consequences of faulty thinking and knowing better and taking faulty action. And that's what I did. So I did it to myself. So I'm like a walking embodiment of, oops, I really, you know, I screwed it up. I did it myself. And you learn from it and you seek the advantage of it. So the advantage of all of that was me rethinking, okay, I'm still going to do my work. But how do I waltz in and out of that matrix undetected? I obviously did not go undetected because I found myself in the crosshairs of some very bad people who had the power to wreck my life. And they did. So I had to take stock and reformulate how I was going to approach this. So my focus went from outing all of that evil to taking advantage of that pendulum, working with the survivors and teaching them how to create their own reality through reality transurfing, through Neville Goddard's work, through the real law of attraction, through the Hermetic principles. And it's much better now. Do I have over 100,000 subscribers on my YouTube? No, I don't. But the quality of people that are engaging with me is a higher quality. It's not this combative, angry energy. These are people that are wanting to up-level their lives and up-level their mindsets. And so I think, you know, I had to come full circle with that. And so it's been, you know, it's been a real journey for me. And, you know, because, and here's the thing, what worked for you 10 years ago may not work for you today.
Yeah.
So, you know, 10 years ago, I was getting a lot of momentum in outing a lot of the stuff. I had a lot of really cool whistleblowers coming up and, you know, so that had its momentum. So that pendulum was swinging and I was gathering all this energy for this wrecking ball, these balancing forces to come take it all down. And they did. They did. 2015 was an intense year, let me tell you, you
Mm,
know, but here we are, 2023.
mm,
And, I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to reassess, how to think properly, how to up level my my way of thinking,
mm,
and doing so in a way that allows everyone else to be as they are. I don't have to
mm,
make anybody wrong.
mm,
I don't have to make me wrong.
mm,
I just have to be able to adjust that. Okay, all right, maybe that didn't work so well. Oh, I can seek this advantage
mm,
and do it differently. Or how about I seek the advantage and up level my intention
mm,
and apply the law of assumption and not lift a finger, and everything just shows up. And
mm,
that's been my experience more and more and more and more and more. I don't have to make things happen. You
mm,
know, they just happen. There are synchronicities.
mm,
Um, there are miraculous, what I call miraculous chains of events that
mm,
are occurring constantly.
mm,
Okay. Like with that article in Brains,
mm,
I received some fantastic. I wasn't going to write it, and it was like, I was depressed, and it's like, okay, I have to take advantage of this. I've got to do this,
mm,
and I think this is good because it allowed me the opportunity to really express emotionally and mentally what was going on, and to turn it around. And that's
mm,
what we do when we're revising. We're turning around a shit situation and
mm,
turning it into a teaching,
mm,
turning it into a sharing insights,
mm,
sharing experience that people can benefit from. And I think that's part of the fun of it. And you
mm.
start really feeling and tuning in that the quantum field creation field universe is very moldable. You can mold it into anything.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, in reality transurfing, the concept of flows is introduced as an essential factor in materializing intentions. How can one recognize and shift between different flows to achieve the desired reality?
Well, I think just paying attention to how you're feeling in your body,
Mm,
because reality transurfing is it's very feeling oriented. Okay.
mm,
So it is engaging our ability to think and
mm,
our ability to feel.
mm,
So the heart, mind, body, soul coordination, I think, is very important for everybody
mm,
to, you've got to break it down for yourself so that you understand and can feel into what feels right for you. Okay. Because the quantum field creation field universe, it's energy.
mm,
And if you don't know what you feel or how you feel in your body, okay,
mm,
you're not going to understand what it is to be in certain flow states. You're
mm,
not going to be able to understand that, oh, I just hopped on this pendulum and I feel sick.
mm,
Maybe I should let it go and get off the pendulum.
mm,
Okay. So it's very, very important because it's not just mental. We're in these bodies.
mm,
Okay. Our physical bodies are the vehicle through which
mm,
we are being animated by creative life force energy. We're
mm,
feeling emotions.
mm.
Okay. Our emotions are what I call our navigational system
Yes.
in terms of the direction that we're
Mm,
going in. If it doesn't feel
mm,
good, maybe you should stop going in that direction and change it, or
mm,
just stop and be still.
mm,
So we need to tune into these. And I think a lot of people in the matrix, unfortunately, are so traumatized they
mm,
can't feel anything, which is why it's more comfortable to be in the matrix and to hop onto some pop culture pop culture pendulum where everybody's agreeing and you
Mhm.
don't have to do anything.
Hmm.
But the thing is that when you give up your life force to a pendulum,
Hmm.
you're not human anymore. You're a mannequin.
Hmm.
You might as well be artificial intelligence,
Hmm.
because these matrix pendulums, what they do, especially when we're not connected to our own flow state, they will suck
Hmm.
the life force, the creative life force energy right out of you. And that is what fuels the pendulum. Okay.
Hmm.
Those pendulums are stealing people's creativity.
Hmm.
And that's why people are not actualized. They're
Hmm.
just spectators in life.
Hmm.
They're receivers of information, but
Hmm.
they are not transmitters. They're being robbed of their life force.
Hmm.
And so, the connection to the energetic flow states, you have to answer the question:
Hmm.
am I a receiver? Am I a transmitter? You are
Hmm.
both.
Yeah.
But if you're just receiving energy, or you're receiving information from the matrix and you're hopping on some pop culture thing
Hmm.
and not questioning that reality,
Hmm.
and then you're wondering why you can't get what you want, or you're wondering why you don't know what you want,
Hmm.
that's a clue. That's a clue that you're letting the matrix dictate to you
Hmm.
what reality is. No, you are here to create and compose reality. And
Hmm.
we can only create and compose reality from our center screen and outside of the matrix.
Hmm.
So did that answer your question
Yeah.
about the, yeah. Yeah, because
So.
the flow state is
Hmm.
creating formless into form. Formless
Hmm.
is the idea. Okay.
Okay.
When we get divine inspiration and we get a picture of what we want, the download happens here at the seventh chakra. And
Hmm.
then it comes into the third eye where you can actually see what it looks like. And
Hmm.
then it drops into the throat chakra where you can actually talk about what it is that you want and be clear about it. It drops into the heart, where if your heart's not into it, then that's another indication heart, mind, body, soul coordination isn't happening. But
Hmm.
if your heart is into it and it's a
Hmm.
part of your heart's desire, it
Hmm.
drops into the power center in the solar plexus and drops into the second chakra, where all the helpers, they come in. This is part
Hmm.
of the catapulting of reality to your new sector of reality based on what it is that you want to create, based on your intention. And then it gets birthed as that energy flows through the first chakra and onto physical plane. It's like you're birthing your baby.
Hmm.
Okay. But then the flow of energy of appreciation, it doesn't end there with the materialization. It
Hmm.
continues on back
Hmm.
up to the divine God, goddess, all that is the true quantum field creation field universe, with our appreciation. And
Hmm.
then the cycle starts again, because we're constantly moving formless into form.
Hmm.
It's not a one-off practice.
So, as we come to a close, what key of advice would you give to our listeners who are just starting their journey in mastering the manifestation through reality transferring and the real law of attraction?
And my suggestion is that you all get yourself a beautiful journal,
Hmm.
and you start practicing. You start making categories of your life, like relationships, health,
Hmm.
abundance, prosperity,
Hmm.
creativity, all your categories. And you start journaling,
Hmm.
writing down lists of what it is that you want
Hmm.
and why you want it, and
Hmm.
start practicing that. So
Hmm.
that's one suggestion. The other suggestion is for you to practice some revision of
Hmm.
certain events
Hmm.
that have happened throughout your life, whether it's current or whether it happened, when you were a little boy, little girl, or a relationship that went bad. And I want you to revise it
Hmm.
in detail. Practice revising it in writing it out.
Hmm.
Don't do it on a computer. Do it longhand.
Hmm.
I have so many notebooks,
Hmm.
but Do it longhand, because the energy of receiving the download, okay, receiving that inspiration and bringing it through the body and writing it through the pen onto paper is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You're practicing materialization right there by being able to think clearly, having your focused attention here in your center screen and composing that reality. So those are my two important suggestions for people who are just starting out, and make it fun. Don't look at this as, oh, I have to do this. Oh, no. You have fun doing it. I would put on very, very nice music, have some beautiful tea or wine or whatever, have a beer, just relax and allow the flow of these ideas, these images to come forth, and really feel into it.
Really, it was an enlightening conversation with you, Maria. Thank you very much for sharing your
You're
wisdom.
so welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you very much.